Here are the top 5 myths that are currently plaguing the real estate investing industry. My name is Sam, and I've been able to buy $50 million worth of real estate coming from nothing without using any of my own money. I also own a house buying company that buys 250 to 300 houses a year. So I am very in tune to the real estate market. Unlike most people that make videos like this, I am very, very active in my investing strategies. I am a real estate investor that happens to make content, as opposed to most people that are content creators that maybe sometimes invest in real estate. I don't have all the bells and whistles and flashy editing. I just want to have a conversation with you, talk about these 5 myths, get your take and opinions on them, and have a conversation as best we can here on YouTube. All right, before I get into the top 5 myths, make sure to hit that like button. I would appreciate it very much. You have no idea how much a simple click of a like button helps push this out. The first myth that I want to debunk is you can't buy rental properties right now and cash flow because of high prices and high interest rates. Now, this is partially true because prices have gone up and interest rates went up historically quickly, but they're already starting to settle out, and in fact, they're going to be coming down in the next couple months. Regardless of all that, historically, interest rates are not high. They're in fact pretty average right now. And the reason why most people think you can't cash flow in today's market is because they listen to people on social media that don't know how to invest in real estate. Just because somebody has a few 100,000 followers or even a few million followers on social media does not make them an expert at real estate investing. From 2018 to 2022, almost every house that investors bought, whether they were new or experienced investors, worked out because house prices went up in value so quickly and interest rates were so low. You could overbuy, meaning pay too much for the purchase. You could over rehab, meaning rehab inefficiently, and still flip it and make money, or still refinance it and keep it as a rental property and cash flow. That 4-year time frame was an anomaly. That's not how it was before, and that's not how it's going to be going forward. So I guess the point I'm trying to make with that is it was super easy there for a while, and that's not normal. So everybody got used to that, and everybody has recency bias. Moving forward, it's going to be harder to cash flow, and you're not going to be able to stumble into a deal and not execute it properly and still cash flow. And the cash flow is not quite as heavy as it was. We could really execute well on a deal and make $500, $600, $700 a month on a single family rental property. That's not the case anymore. Now we are still able to cash flow $200 to $300 a month. It's not quite as much as it was, but it's still very, very worth the effort put into buying single family rental properties because of the property growth, the debt pay down by somebody else, the cash flow, and the tax savings. So just understand that you can still cash flow in today's market. It may look a little bit different. You may have to be a little bit better of an operator, and it may not be as much as you thought or what you used to be able to get, but you can still get into the game and get into the #1 asset class that creates the most millionaires, real estate. Myth number 2, tenants are nightmares. That's not the case. I think a good analogy for this is a lot of these older boomer managers that think all younger people, millennials or Gen Zs or whatever generation is next, are lazy and they don't work hard. No, they don't want to work hard for you. You're a crappy manager, you're a crappy leader, boomer manager, so nobody wants to work for you. Just because we don't do things how they used to be done doesn't mean that people that are young are lazy. It's just like this with landlords. If you're a slumlord and you treat your tenants horribly and you don't treat them like people and you have crappy houses, yes, tenants can be a pain in the butt. But if you're a landlord with pride in ownership, you have a nice house, somewhere that a tenant wants to live but not has to live, you have good communication channels, you set the expectation properly, you charge a fair amount of rent, and you treat them like actual people, tenants can be very, very easy to deal with because they are just that, actual people. So if you have the right mindset going into your tenant and owner relationship, and you communicate and do things the right way and utilize technology to be efficient and treat them like people and have a nice house, tenants are really not that bad. In fact, we have great relationships with our tenants. This was proven during COVID because we collected 98% of rent in 2020, which just proved my point that I said before that we treat our tenants fairly like people because that's just how I like to treat people. And it was proven through COVID because people were told they didn't have to pay rent, and yet they still did because of the relationships we had with them and the way that they took care of our properties and we took care of them. So if you're having trouble cash flowing, maybe you need to look in the mirror and not at your tenant. Sorry if that one stung a little bit. The third myth that I want to debunk is renovations are hard. Of course, if you're trying to do all the work and rehab the property, it's going to take a ton of time and you probably don't have the skill set required to do everything, so that will be a pain. But if you're willing to have processes in place and hire out the right contractors, rehabbing properties can be a breeze. Some of the best rehabbers I know that literally rehab hundreds of properties a year don't even know which way to tighten a screw. For those that don't know that, it's righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. The two biggest things that you need to have in place to make rehabbing a breeze are systems and processes and the right contractor. So let's knock those two out quickly. The first is having systems and processes and a scope of work. Of course, rehabs can be a pain if you're writing your rehab budget on a napkin or a sheet of paper and you don't share it with your contractors and you're buying different types of materials for different type of products. Yes, that can be a pain. But if you have systems and scopes of work in place that are communicated with the contractors and you have certain materials that you use, a order of operations for your rehab, and you have some type of systems and clarity around the rehab process, you will be more efficient, it will be less of a headache, and you will be able to do more, meaning you can go from doing 2 a year to doing 4 a year, which may not sound like a big difference, but if you're profitable, that is doubling your profit because you're able to get twice as much work done in probably less time. The second is having good contractors. Now, this one might take a while to fully implement, but there are a couple things you can do to speed this up. Number one is talk to other real estate investors in your area at local meetups, at Facebook groups, wherever you're meeting local real estate investors, and try to get referrals from them on contractors that they use and they like. Most of the time, they will gladly hand off a referral to you, assuming you have a good relationship with them, because they trust that you're going to take care of their contractor. Now, if you do get a referral, make sure you communicate, are trustworthy and honest with the contractor, because guess what? Good contractors hang around other good contractors. I can't tell you how many referrals we've gotten from our good contractors. We have an amazing roofer that we work with. He does sidings and windows as well, but he has referred us to the best landscapers, to the best flooring people, to the best concrete people in the industry, all that do really good work at really good prices because they like the no fluff, no BS approach of real estate investors that have their crap together like we do. So network, talk, communicate with these contractors and have the right expectation in place along with the right systems, and rehabbing can be a breeze. Now, of course, it takes some time to do all that. And again, this is why a lot of people join my community and get involved in my mentorship, because we have all the systems and processes and everything in place done for you. Now, you can check out the description below to get a free training that will walk you through a lot of this, and also chat with my team if you want to learn more about my community. If not, no big deal. We'll be okay and you'll be okay. I just wanted to give that option to you. Number 4 is my favorite, and that is timing the market is the best way to invest in real estate. That is a myth. There is no such thing as timing the market, because if the perfect opportunity is in front of you, the actual chance to make money is behind you. There are no scenarios where house prices are skyrocketing, interest rates are going down, rental rates are going up, real estate taxes and insurance are going down. There's no perfect scenario to have a snapshot of that happens at one time at one place that you can take advantage of. You have to change your mindset into a long-term type of thinking. All the wealthy people you know or successful people you know, whether it be Bezos to Musk to a politician to a friend, whoever, they all have long-term mindsets. They do not have short-term mindsets. I can pretty much guarantee you that. Judging by the fact that they're successful and they have long-term mindsets, you need to adopt that. It's not about timing the market. It's about time in the market. I promise you, if you could go back 5 years and start investing in real estate, you would, because of what's happened in the past 5 years. Now, don't say that again 5 years from now and wish you could go back to today and start investing. Start investing now. It's going to be messy. It's going to be hairy. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be depressing, and it's going to be everything in one, but just have that expectation that that's what it's going to be. Get some help if you need it, but if not, just push forward and know that you're going to fail a little bit, but that's part of the process. And number 5 is a very, very common one, and that is you need money to invest in real estate. Well, you do, but it doesn't have to be your own money. You see, I've been able to buy $50 million worth of real estate without using a dime of my own money, because I use other people's money. And no matter what your situation is, you can get into the real estate investing game. You could not have a social security number or a credit score, and you can partner with somebody. that has those things and get into the game, or you could wholesale, which doesn't require any money, any experience, or any risk if you have your contract set up the right way. The barrier of entry to real estate is so low. Now, not every single person watching this is going to be able to take advantage of every single real estate investing strategy out there, so you might have to pick and choose what works for you or for your market, but there is a way for you to get into the real estate investing game with little to no money. The main lending sources that I have used to grow my $50 million rental portfolio from nothing is private lenders, number one, hard money lenders, number two, small local banks, and DSCR lenders. If you can have relationships with all four of those, you'll be able to do more deals and use little to none of your own money, especially if you buy deals the right way. Those are 5 myths that I see out there. Why don't you fill up the comment section with which one you liked best and which one you agree with or disagree with, and let me know some myths or things that you hear in the real estate investing industry right now that you'd like me to have conversations about. And I promise you one thing, if it's a legitimate complaint or a legitimate obstacle, I will admit that and I will try to give you ways around those obstacles. I just know these 5 I talked about in this video are super common ones that people need a little bit of a restructure in their mindset to understand that they're not that big of obstacles. They're something that you can easily sidestep, especially with the right guidance. If you got anything out of this video, please hit the like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. I know you probably hear that a lot. However, this channel is chock full of the most free information you're going to get on YouTube about real estate investing. I host my podcast here with my business partner. We have the top guests in the industry on here as well. I do talking head videos like this where I have a real conversation with you and explain or teach you something. I have a whiteboard right over there where I do lives, where I go on all social media platforms, have them vertical and dig into a few things and have fun. But I have buttoned up lives as well. They're in the vertical format here on YouTube. If you go to my homepage, you will see it's all sectioned out. So no matter what you're looking for, funny educational shorts, hour-long podcasts, or something in between to learn, this is the channel for you. And if you appreciate any of that and my authenticity, I would appreciate that like, that subscribe, that notification bell, but even more, I would appreciate you sharing this video with a friend that maybe has some of these beliefs. That would help me a ton, and I don't think it'll hurt you any. See you on the next one.